everyone, and welcome back to Austin Talks, where today I am doing the review of the Flash movie that came out this year. I know that honestly, I just want to say this, like, I don't really make videos this quick. Obviously, it sometimes takes a while for me to make the videos in order for me to for me to make the videos and then make them, and then upload them and record them, and it usually takes me a while to do that. But I just want to say that I don't know how I've been able to do this, but I was able to get this one out pretty quickly and make it pretty quickly. So, just thought I'd say that, and obviously later on today we'll have a Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse video, as I promised, and then tomorrow, stick it on your calendars, we have a History of Music Part 3. It was supposed to come out today, and The Flash was supposed to come out yesterday, but my YouTube was blocked with the Transformers video, so fun. So other than that, I'm just going to get right into it right now. So first off, the opening scene, and I would like to talk about the food craving as well. I can only wish to eat the same kind of food that Barry was eating, but obviously I don't think that would be possible, or I would die. And I also think that the adding in the reasons why he needs to eat was a really good touch, if you ask me. Like having the whole thing on his wrist with the calorie energy monitor. Now that was that was really cool, and the whole thing with the coffee shop with this order. It's like, where's this girl? She knows what I usually get at a certain time. And I actually thought that was a really good addition. It may have not been needed. It was just like an anecdote, but I do think it was good. I do have one problem with this though. This cafe that you went to is not called Jitters. Why? That annoyed me. And I know it shouldn't, but it didn't. It wasn't. It was called something else. I don't know what it was called, but it wasn't called Jitters, which really annoyed me because obviously Jitters is so common in the Flash universe. So this was like why? Why not, huh? Also, can we just appreciate the lens of that of Sook? Just honestly, as I say that, the speed and suit. The speed, the suit, and everything that was to do with this was just aesthetically stunning. The yellow contrasted so well with the red and is so cool to see. I actually prefer this to the original TV series one. I do really agree with it. And I must say, the poster does not do this movie justice. The background with him looking down at his chest and the chest is glowing, that doesn't really do it justice, but I do think it was actually really good. And the new concept of the Speed Force being a whole thing that he's not in touch with, it's just a part of him, it's how he got his speed, the Speed Force chose him. And in the whole movie, we don't actually get much context in the Speed Force, but I'm still bringing it up because the color scheme actually goes really well with this, and it is good. It is probably one of the best we've had in the DCEU. We had the Speed Force scene in the Zack Snyder thing, but that was a bit iffy. It was blue, and he just saw it shaking, and he saw the vibrations. Kind of reminded me of string theory, vibrations is every particle. But that's beside the point. I do like this new thing, and I do like how they explain that the suit dissipates energy, changing the color, which I thought was a great addition. Oh yeah, the Wonder Woman cameo. Now this scene was actually really cool, and I don't think it was necessary to have a Funko Pop of her. And I'm just gonna say this now. My rating at the end of the movie has changed. It is lower, much lower. And her cameo was added comedy to the movie with the lasso of truth. But other than that, it was really weird to see her in the movie, if you ask me. Even though this has happened, at least she wasn't there for the whole movie, because that's obviously well appreciated, because we don't like a character that steals the show. Like every other Batman, like Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, yeah. Now still Gal Gadot plays a very good Wonder Woman, which is pretty weird, but Like pretty weird considering she's no longer playing Wonder Woman, which I thought was weird to see. But yes, I do think her cameo was cool with the whole comedy of this movie and the whole comedy of the scene, which I thought was actually really was a really good touch. Yeah, okay. Did she not nice? I don't like her. Me no like her. Iris West is not nice. To go up to someone and ask, do you think he is innocent, and it is just really cruel when you know for a fact he's innocent, and then you're like, but all the evidence suggests that he isn't. That is so messed up. Not that she even knew. Even when you know deep down that it wasn't him, of course, it will also be... of course it's all because of Reverse Flash. As much as, yes, she's not nice, it's all because of Reverse Flash. This is actually confirmed by the director, by the way. And I have mixed feelings about, like, the reporters in a lot of movies, to be fair, not just this one. And then to ask her out at the end of the movie, I think was wrong, but still, like, obviously you've got to go with the comic accuracy and all. Yes, she wasn't nice, but overall it was, like, good to see a little context from when he saved her in the Snyder Cut. Honestly, I didn't think we'd get this character again, but it's good to see her back. I do think she plays a good Iris West, like, compared to the other ones. I do think Candice Patton from the original series, is the best Iris West. Will always be. Now, the Allen family. This seemed like a really nice. They seem like a really nice family, and like Henry, he was quite funny as well. Also, the family was the key signifier of the movie. Like, they were the reason this all happened, and like is the whole reason he did what he did. It is so sad to think he lost both of his parents on the same day, and still Barry wished to prove his innocence, and it worked out well, which was really good because he still has one back. Obviously, he will never get his mother back. I mean, yeah, he has the ability to, and yes, I already said. It won't bring his mother back, but due to new time travel laws in this movie, I'm really not sure anymore. Apparently, you can go up to someone. Yes, it broke the timeline slightly, but it did have a better impact than the rest of them, which I think was a lot better than we had. Yeah, but I do like the Allen family. And Nora, as much as she wasn't in the movie a lot, she was like there for 2 minutes. You could tell how much of a loving mother she was. The two time loop scene. Now we've never seen this in a way like this, and I do prefer the color aesthetics of it as well. And I do really like the idea of like warping through a loop or like warping through a circle, trying to do the exact same thing. And also we get a little ambush from Dark Flash, which actually sends him into the Flashpoint timeline. And that and that was really cool to see. Yes, it was not expected, but it was really cool to see Dark Flash go whoop-pow. Now, this scene also kind of reminded me of a time orb almost, because you have like something swirling, and he's the swirling thing, and then he's get hit by Dark Flash, and that's really cool. And he is guarded by the Speed Force Field, which was another good touch. And the colors and the concept of the time sphere is very cool. The last time sphere we had in the Flash series was very, very bad. Very, very bad. But I do really like the time loop scene. And we also see it at the end when we get a little cameo from Jay Garrick of the CW series. That was really cool because we see him doing the exact same thing. And if only they had that in the original series, I do think that would have been good. Now, as I say, the introduction to Dark Flash. In the same scene as the time loop scene, we get a 5-second glimpse at Dark Flash, and this ambush from him does show how menacing he will be throughout the movie. And we're not wrong. This character wasn't shown like it should have been, but the random jump scare in the movie, I think it was after the just before the battle of Kryptonians versus humans. I think it was just before that. We have a whole it was lightning crackles and then him just jumping through the screen. I was just like, the saddest thing is I know what it's like to be watch movies. I know what I'm expecting. There's going to be a jump scare in there somewhere. I knew this was going to happen. Because Dark Flash does look a bit menacing, and I knew it was going to happen. Didn't even scare me. I'm proud of myself, okay? Now, this character wasn't shown, as I said, as it used to, but the random jump scare throughout the, was terrifying. It was terrifying to see because he literally, his face fills the whole screen when he jumps. It is cool and it is terrifying, but I jumped out of my seat. No, I didn't. I did not jump out of my seat. I knew it was coming because I saw the purple lightning. I was just like, oh, is he literally gonna come through like a whole wormhole? Then he went. I was like, oh, hi. It didn't scare me, but I did also kind of know that was going to happen. But yeah. The butterfly effect is a can of tomatoes. Who'd have known? The whole idea of the butterfly effect is that it explains time travel, and is the idea of the movie is that reason for Nora's death is a can of tomatoes. I actually thought this was really funny, and if you think about it, it is. Making Barry risk changing the timeline in the whole order to save her, but it's really cool. And yes, this is minor. I just wanted to mention this, but they must have been like good tomatoes to alter a timeline like 15 times. I did count; it was about 7. They changed the timeline 7 times. But yeah, like all for just like. There must have been good tomatoes if they were just doing that. Like, mate. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I hated this scene. This new origin. Now, this was a weird origin. Probably because it was directly ripped from the CW series. But this didn't, like, meet me much. I did not enjoy this. I hated this scene. I hated it all. I do think this whole thing with the interacting with such is so unnecessary, and it's the slow part of the movie when they're chatting together. This took up so much of the movie. This is one of the reasons I do not like it. And the whole attempt to break in and make sure he becomes the Flash was totally ripped from Back to the Future, which referred to was many times in this movie. But like this scene, I did not like it at all. And I know that's going to sound weird, but I didn't like it. It was basically just the Flash trying to make sure he does become the Flash. And then he tries to run across, like, run in the hall. Then he finds out he doesn't have speed. It was just so pointless. And I'll get into, like, something in a bit. But again, some of the parts were so pointless. Like this, for example. Now, due to Batman v Superman, that was the only way we understood the concept of the whole conflict between the scene, like the Flash, the Black Zero event, and seeing Flash save people on what he during the Black Zero event gave context to the actual event, like gave whole context. And it was the same with the other things that happened in the world, like and the suit. I just want to say the suit was awful. But this scene was it was needed, but like, you should have reflected on his past and how he came here, what he's been doing. Not have stuff like this. It's so pointless. I mean, I do think that having context and action that actually flows is good. This movie did not have context or flow. It had very little context and zero flow. It did not make sense. And I know I'm going to say this a lot during this video. And the rating I've put at the end is very, very bad. I do not agree with it. But, as I'll get onto that in a little bit. But also, this suit, as much as it's awful, it reminds me of the wrestler thing from Spider-Man. Which was very canon accurate. Now, the movie references only added to the feeling of how comedically stupid this movie is. Don't get me wrong, the Back to the Future lore and much more accurate actually made it a lot better, as many movies do not use other movie titles in order to keep their art in the spot. But this one, it was the only way that the Flashpoint timeline could survive. But oh wait, it didn't, did it? Yeah, like this just the pop culture references kind of made the movie just it was comedically stupid, but like, oh my god. Oh yeah, the movie explicit rating. Now, I was not expecting this movie to be like this, considering my ticket said PG-13. Yep, I went into I was with a mate, and then my ticket said PG-13. Then it came up on the board saying, it's PG-15. I'm like, what? And I checked. I checked through all my tickets. Am I in the right cinema? Am I in the right everything? I checked it all. I was in the right cinema. So clearly something's wrong with the ticket. Now, the explicit content in this movie could have been used in a better way, but not in just random places. It wasn't funny either. I like explicit language. It's funny only in a good way. I can use an example like Deadpool. Deadpool uses it in a funny way. This uses it in the most pointless ways ever, and it wasn't funny. And it was just there for no reason. And I think it was like, you know, when something's trying to be funny but isn't. And the only good bit was the ending when he witnesses George Clooney, the George Clooney Batman. Now that was funny. It was just like, who the hell is this? Now that was funny, and when the truth comes out, that was okay. The rest of the movie, with the whole explicit language, it was just so unneeded and so pointless. Pointless seems to be like the key signifier of this movie. Now the introduction to Michael Keaton's Batman! Yay! Now this was the weirdest scene, the weirdest Batman I've seen. At first I genuinely thought this was a weird version of Alfred. I genuinely thought that. Also, that spaghetti looked a bit funky. I did not want to eat any of that. It was like I do like his whole analogy with like saying that spaghetti is just a piece of uses it as time. I thought that was good, and it just seemed a bit weird. But it was also cool to see as it shows very little time and how much he has actually given up, and the Flash motivated him to his inevitable death, and yep, what you say? Yep, that was basically how that movie went. He's like, I'm gonna go back into action. That's my attempt at doing the do 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 do, the Titanic song. Or yeah, but I do like his cameos. Cameo was actually okay. Introduction to Supergirl. Now this was a great introduction to the DCEU. To see her sufferance and then to see her help Barry defeating Zod. Now that is a true Kryptonian. Also, Sasha Calle, I think that's how you say her name. Considering this is her first major movie, I actually can't believe that this character is what we got out of her. It was really good. I mean, a lot of people's first major character roles don't go well. But this character, I really want to see her in another movie. Now, a lot of people say, oh, she's not blonde, she's not comic accurate. I could not care less. She's a good actor. She's a good actor as Supergirl. And I want to see her again as Supergirl in the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, considering her ultimate demise. But we also know in the not the post-credits scene, but we saw a cameo of multiverse Supergirl, so we know they exist, so everyone's happy. The Batman and Flash relations. Now, both of these characters' moments together brought out a sense of emotion throughout the movie, which was the only bit of emotion that I actually felt throughout the movie. Throughout the movie, I felt like, what the actual hell am I watching? I mean, think about it. They do have relations. The loss of their parents, using their powers for themselves, but then using them for good. Whilst this was a minor thing, and if you don't know what I mean there, Batman tried to kill Joe Chill, in order to get revenge for his parents, and then using his powers for himself to avenge his parents. They're literally the exact same, but then using them for good. Whilst also this is again a minor thing that I have to exaggerate. This is very minor, but it's something I picked up on, and this does only stand until his death, roughly 10 minutes later. It was something that needed to be said. Literally everything that he got everything that he got involved with, he died. The people around him died. And I'll get onto that in a little bit. The return of Zod! Yeah! You could tell tell this actor did not want to be here. Like, oh my god, this character was like the most unlikely person to like he was not supposed to, oh my god, it was just the most unlikeliness character. I know he isn't supposed to be, but this is what people call a joke. I do understand that the actor's frustration. Even he said in an interview on, I don't know what it was for, but he said he didn't even want to come back as Zod. And I do get that. They did something awful with him in, Dawn of Justice, or Batman v Superman. It was so awful. We got Doomsday out of it. A very bad Doomsday for that. And the only reason he is in there, the film, is to reboot the universe, which wasn't needed. It would have been better to have a Reverse Flash storyline and not force a storyline. This is, like, I don't care what anyone says, this is such a full storyline. And this is why this movie flopped. This movie flopped so hard. And, like, his cameo was short-lived, there's no doubt about that. But even though he didn't want to be there, he put up one of the best acts. He's definitely third. No, he's definitely in the top 5, because like Ezra Miller, he actually did okay. Considering his Assembly of Budget League. It's called Budget League. I don't care what you say. It's called Budget League. Now, this league was like the saddest bit of the movie. Also, never have the Flash lead a team, like ever, any of them from whatever timeline. I mean, there were 4 members of the team, and I would like to exaggerate, only one came out alive, and it was the only one that I like. This team was also really, really cringy, with Supergirl being really emotional. It was like, I will help you, and then Barry of 2013 being like, we must like save everyone, and Batman was all like, I must die for you to win. It was just so this was, if you want to know forced, this was forced, and then it was just it was so broody. And afterwards the team could have been better. Also, with 2 Flashes, it's still messed up somehow. I mean, yes, obviously he has energy dissipated coming out of his like suit, and then you have someone that doesn't have a brain cell. But honestly, again, we let that slide. But oh my god. And then, oh yeah, Kryptonian versus the Human War. Now, we never saw any of this in the first movie, which was The Man of Steel, so it was actually really cool to see. And the idea of having a human army assisted by superheroes versus aliens like Kryptonians was actually really cool. And I must also say, the action in this scene was actually really hard to keep up with, but it was actually really good as well. Like we only saw Zod and the Man of Steel literally just beating the hell out of each other, but this was good. Don't get me wrong, this was actually really good. And I love the color contrast again with the blue and the blue, red, and then partially black and red, whatever that suit is. But I do actually think it was actually quite cool compared to the rest of the movie. Oh yeah! Supergirl's death. Now, this was a great introduction to the DCEU, as I've already said. So, of course, the textbook answer for the DCEU is that we must kill her. But I do have hope for this character. I do. Just because the Supergirl is dead doesn't mean other than, there's the other ones that are. I do think Callie as Supergirl, and Callie does play a good Supergirl, and considering the final scene with the cameos and such, and seeing Supergirl, we should expect her back. I do want to see her back, maybe in a different suit. I do think that was a bit of an iffy suit. I do think maybe more color than just literally blue with a tad bit of red and literally no yellow. So yeah, I do think it should be a bit of a better suit, and I mean, the cape is actually cool, but yeah, I do think it should be it should just change. And I do want to see her back. But obviously, I just want to exaggerate this. The textbook answer for the DCEU is if she's a likable character, she must die. So I think Blue Beetle will die. Oh, wait, yeah, Batman's dead. Why do they do this? His arc throughout this movie would have actually been great if they didn't do this. His character arc and was like a meh in my books. But to be fair, the whole idea was to be about like the Flash and the both characters get death, which made it more of their movie, which I do agree with because it is their movie, and his death was actually kind of honorable. I can't lie, and we'll put it, but it could have been longer screen time. Like literally, they connected on an emotional level where he came back as Batman. 10 minutes later, gets killed by Zod's Superman, known as Namek. Namek is fast. He's literally the better Zod. Namek plays a better Zod. I cannot lie. Just putting it out there. I know I had a theory that was right. This was never happened. I can't, as I say, I just can't. Mr. 2013 Barry Allen was indeed Dark Flash. Now, whilst it wasn't the theory and storyline that I personally was going for, but it did make sense at the end. Also, we can appreciate the art and voice and the elements of this character, and it was just this character was insane. And like with his whole screen time was good, and again his screen time, as much as it was limited, it was good. Like he had 5 minutes total, 5 minutes, and this character could have had this character was so good until his death. His death, everyone. Why not have a different person? Have a different death. Just like have someone else die. Everyone else died anyway. But I do think he should have been a long-lasting character, like see him in the next movie or whatever. And we so needed more of this character. And Dark Flash was so underrated in this movie. Yes, all the cameos. Now this scene was actually I know I'll try and use a different word. Mental. And this opens many doors for many other projects and the future of the DC universe. And to see Jay Garrick, George Reeves as Superman, Christopher Reeves as Superman and Supergirl, and then Adam West as Batman, and then Nicolas Cage Superman that we actually never got. But this was actually wow! I did not expect to see this. Yes, this was a hype stunt. There's no denying that this was a hype stunt. But if you look at it from a canon universe standpoint, this is very beneficial. Meaning, they can bring actors back and just say, I'm from a different universe. They have that ability now, which is very good to see. I don't think they'll bring George Reeves back because I don't think he's alive anymore, is he? I don't know, I imagine not. And then Adam West, I don't think they'll bring. I don't know if they want, like Jay Garrett would be a part of it. They may have got a different one, but still, I do think like there's serious potential with this scene. Then the George Clooney scene, yeah. Now this was actually really funny as it also complements real life. When people bring up George Clooney's Batman, he always tells them not to talk about it, and he doesn't like that role but it also means that Barry is stuck in the Clooneyverse. I suppose it could be worse. I don't actually understand the significance of this universe other than another hype stunt, as always. But this all has to mean at least something. But knowing the DC universe, considering this is the triple. No, actually, I don't think anything was happening for the Aquaman movie. This is the penultimate movie. I do think again, this is a hype stunt, and this is not gonna mean anything in the future, unfortunately. My film rating. That is being degraded. This is being degraded down to a 6.5. Now it says this film wasn't bad, but this film wasn't great. That statement stands, but this film wasn't to the point where you should just forget about it and put it in a bin. It's not that bad, but I'm not gonna watch it again. I do think that this movie was overhyped, to say the least, but the elements that it promised were delivered, not to a scale that I thought it should be. And now I'm saying this 7.7 is very 6.5. I'm putting it. I'm not saying it was bad for obvious reasons, but I think it's a DC movie. Unlike the Shazam movie was weird. No, I mean I cannot lie about that. But yeah, this was not great. I can't lie about that. Oh wait, there's fan theory? Oh, okay, cool. I don't know how this has down fan theories, but okay. The Aquaman scene in the post-credit scene. Oh yeah, speaking of that, I'm not doing one. I'm not doing a post-credit scene. That was just that was the most stupidic or whatever. Idiotic. That's the word I'm looking for. An idiotic post-credit scene. But anyway, the Aquaman scene. That's spelled wrong. In the post-credit scene of the movie, is actually the comic accurate Flashpoint Aquaman of that universe. Oh, wait, what? Think about it. We got a Flashpoint of Batman and a cameo from Wonder Woman, which all link to the original storyline. Yes, this is a minor thing, but I do think he will be different, but will the same as the one in the Flashpoint comic. Oh. Are you trying to? I don't know if what you're trying to say. If he's like the one that's like comic accurate to the Flashpoint series, because that could be true. That has the potential to be true. There's a constant speculation about who killed Nora Allen, and I do agree that this was Reverse Flash. It was confirmed by the director that Reverse Flash was the person who was responsible for Nora's death, but why did we not see him? It was said that he will appear in the future of the movie, and he was there when the multiverse collided. This will be a cause for the main conflict in the sequel. Honestly, mate, I don't think there's going to be a sequel unless there's a different Flash and a different storyline and a different director. I could go on forever here. Now, while Supergirl died in this movie, it will not be the end of her. Okay, I agree with that sentence anyway. As we know, there is a solo movie coming out in the Gods and Monsters project, and I think it would be a waste to just have Sasha appear in one movie. Also, we know there is others in the universe due to the ending, so make it happen, James Gunn. I can't rank any of these because I like them all. I mean, obviously, I don't think there'll be there needs to be a better sequel or a better storyline to have Reverse Flash. I mean, fine. I do actually agree with all of these, but I can't judge them all. I can't. I do agree with all of them, so yeah. Well, everyone, that'll be the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and obviously don't take my review as like a permanent stereotype. What stereotype? What am I talking about? Like, don't obviously make my assumption of the movie, not assumption of the movie, but like my opinion alter yours. If you like the movie, it's your option. But other than that, everyone, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And obviously, you all have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one, which will be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse review. Bye!